Well, hello everybody and welcome back down into the dungeon. I hope you had a fabulous Monday. Well, I figured as always we'd start by taking a look at the peppers around here. I am pleased to say that I actually have another sprout from over on the black shelf. It's the Scotch Brains 7 Pot Pheno, which is kind of a scary sounding pepper actually. But all in all, I'm super excited about it. Not a whole lot popping up over there. I'm seriously thinking about taking a space heater, kind of turning it towards the shelf, seeing if that makes a difference, but I'm about out of time for things that are going to be starting as far as peppers and tomatoes going outside anyway. I've only got just about 2 months left, just under 2 months left, so I need to get started on, I think, some more, well, varieties of crops, really, when you get right down to it. But yeah, let's take a look at that little sprout, and I've been trying to air out the original 72 cell tray. Looks like we have a couple of casualties there, but we'll take a look at that in a second. So first off, we've got that Scotch Brain 7 Pot Pheno. I see at least one in there. It almost looks like another one might be popping up, but that could just be like algae forming on the perlite, so we'll have to see. Give it a couple days. Got the candy apples here. I have been letting them be exposed, I guess, for 2 days now to the normal dungeon air. And I still see 4 that are trucking along alright, maybe 5. We'll see how that one is. And the Bellstar tomatoes. Tomatoes do alright with the transition. Got the big red mama pepper here, starting to throw off some new leaves, or true leaves I should say, in the middle of all that, so that's exciting. Still nothing going on really with this one Sugar Rush Peach. It's not looking fantastic. Not looking fantastic at all. So I'm very excited about the Sugar Rushes that are in here, but I'm not sure who our victims are here yet. So let's just take the top off. And what do we got? We've got one here. This is a Thai dragon that has kind of fallen over. I don't know if I'll be able to save that one. This one's got an incredibly spindly stalk on it as well, or stem, I guess. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's toast. What do we have in the tray beside it? It's the Antoi Sweets. This one's sort of bending over, but not really, so I'm guessing it'll be okay in the long run. Where did those Sugar Rushes go? We got the dwarf. The white dwarf, Labuyo. I still can't pronounce half of these peppers that I'm growing. Alright, so I thought the Sugar Rushes were there. Does that mean they're on this side? Got the M.A. Wartrix. The one in the middle here seems to be doing okay. This one on the edge, not so much. This one's still doing the helmet head thing, so I'm not really expecting much there. Up beside it, we've got the Indian Jwala pepper here. I grew one of these last year, didn't get any fruit out of it. Got another helmet head going on there. So what happened to my Sugar Rushes? Aha! They're up here. This is not a happy looking pepper start. This one's doing alright though. That's the Sugar Rush Peach. That's the Sugar Rush Red. So for the most part, things are doing alright. These are the 2 Ahi Gayanas I pulled out already. There's been a couple of casualties, getting used to the lack of humidity down here in the dungeon. But nothing I won't live through. Nothing I won't live through. So that's interesting. Need to get some more of these transplanted out soon, I guess. Put them into their own double cups. The straight 8 cucumbers, I just took the top off of it. Got a true leaf forming in the middle there. Looks like the second one kind of died off from being allowed some air, but we've got a little bit more visible, the growth on the mouse melons now. So that's cool. In the process of getting used to things, we did lose one of the watermelon starts. I'm hoping the rest of these seeds will be okay. One never really knows. One never really knows. But yeah, so that's the seedling table today. Oh, I guess we haven't checked this yet. Still probably a little on the early side for anything here. And yet, there's green popping up in that. And this is fresh soil, so that in theory should be the lemon or the bee balm that I think I planted there. Might be a little bit of green coming up in the middle square there too. Alright, it's on its way, it's on its way. Here's those anchocha cucumbers. They're just going wild down here. They got their little vining tendrils going, so they'll be attaching themselves to pretty much anything they can find soon. Not quite sure what to do about those, because they definitely need to wait another 2 months. I may need to start another planting of those when you get right down to it. But anyway, here is that a beautiful El Oro de Ecuador now that it's coming back. Still got the LED light on here, but gratuitous ladybug shot all the same. It's the jar from yesterday's ladybug hunting, or I guess that would have been Sunday's. I haven't been up there in the last couple of days looking. Oh, got another ladybug down here on the Sugar Rush Red, which, as you can see, I still haven't shortened yet. But I do intend to. I was hoping to see more robust growth on this yellow scorpion by now, especially considering how well the sand dollar beside it is doing. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up yet anyway. Figure if that can come back to life, and that can come back to life, then I can just wait for these three. Because life would be nice. Would be nice. Got some tomatoes and chard back there. They're all doing just fine. I'd like to grab that ahi panic back there, see if we can find any of the ladybug larvae. Accidentally squished one the other day. It's just kind of a reflex. Saw something black crawling around and I'm like, oh, squish it. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Well, I don't see any on the top of this thing, so let's take it over to the fluorescent light where we can see the underside of the leaves fairly well. I do see a few aphids on here. So I guess if we don't find any of the larvae, it's time for the shake, shake, shake on this puppy. Yeah, under the fluorescent we go. Such a difference in color underneath these lights versus the LED grow lights. Still not seeing any of those little alligator looking ladybug larvae. But I did notice that this thing has gone through a whole lot of water. You can just sort of see it at the bottom there. Get it away from the light and then we'll pull it up to see how those roots are looking. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't see any of the ladybug larvae. Or, you know, like I say, fortunately, because that means that I'll be more comfortable to shake this sucker over the fish tank. Because I sure don't want to feed them to the fish. But these aphids can bugger right off. Alright, let's take a quick look at the root situation in here before we get to that. Look at that. Look at that! That's incredible. Alright. Yeah. So, I need to shake that off. The rim is very, very sticky with whatever that residue is that aphids leave behind them. It's pretty nasty is what it is. It still looks like we've got a lot of flower starts on this thing. Come on, little coffee can panic. And as with all the aphid shaking experiences, I'm sure that's not all of them. But that's enough floating on the water to feed the fish. I'm a happy camper. Alright guys, come on. Come get your treats. Come get your treats. I know you want them. Silly little camera shy fish. See, that one orange and white one doesn't seem to care too much. I want the aphids. Nom 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 nom. It's a ridiculously satisfying activity. Shaking the aphids into the fish tank and watching the feeding frenzy. Finally found a positive use for aphids. Who knew? That said, I'd still be okay with them completely dying off. I've got no problem feeding my fish, you know, fish food. Oh yeah. Here we've got that crimson red that's in the coffee can. Very slow to work on building its pepper, but I see quite a few little flower starts on there. Quite a few actual flowers on there too. Squishy, hopefully the pollen will hit the center of that and I'll get some more peppers. There's been a few flowers on this since this one pepper formed. And I have been trying to pollinate them, but for the most part they've fallen off. This one though, staying on there nice and firm. Still feels pretty good. It's not a ridiculously hot pepper or anything, but if this is the phenotype that I'm hoping it is, then it is a nice rusty red when it dries, and that really is all I care about in this particular pepper. So, yes. As you can see, this Grandpa's Siberian home, that's right, YouTubers, as you can see, this Grandpa's Siberian home is loaded with flowers, flower starts, possibly little pepper buds. It's really so hard to tell at this point. This thing is just crammed. But doing alright, My little chocolate bootla. Barely still alive, but technically still alive. Little billy goat in the back there, same position. Chocolate nugget brain. See, that's another one of those peppers that just sounds scary. Sugar Rush Cream, that doesn't sound scary at all. It sounds like a nice, lovely little pepper. Doesn't make the cut for the Rev qualification. I can still see the cup. Alright, grow, little Sugar Rush, grow. That Ring of Fire is pretty happy since it's been in the chicken bucket, though. For the most part, I think the bucket system here, giant double cups, whatever this is, the Kratky-ish, double cup-ish method, seems to be working really well. And even though these are significantly darker, because you can see some light traveling through the red plastic of those coffee cans, those plants are definitely doing better. I mean, this one's a little miffed because of its shaking. So I'll try and bend it back into shape here. And pepper leaves everywhere. It'll turn back towards the light in a little while. The coffee can ones do seem to be doing better though. And I mean, the bases take up a little bit less space. They've got that nice little handle. So I think most of these are probably going to go into coffee cups, based on current test results anyway. So it would be really nice if a few more of them would start putting out lower roots for me. Nothing going there yet. Got the other Sugar Rush Cream over here. Anything? Nothing! So it's a waiting game. You know, all gardening is a waiting game, really. What do we got here? Ahi Lemon Drop. Come on, Ahi Lemon Drop. You got some roots for me? Root for Daddy. No roots for Daddy. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep waiting. Red Demon back here I'm pretty hopeful for, but nothing yet. Just some water driplets because I just watered that on Sunday. The Tomato Forest. Oh, the Tomato Forest. I was gonna show you guys this a little bit better on Sunday. And it would have looked better too. Look at this poor guy, needs to be watered, I think. But so many tomato starts this year. I mean, last year I had, what, 5 plants? Maybe 6 plants, one of each variety. This year I'm already staring down the barrel of 16 different varieties, most of which have several plants each. I still haven't transplanted this Tiny Tim tomatoes. Kind of looking for another hanging basket. It'd be nice, you know, there's one on either side of that archway. But we'll see. Kind of thinking maybe growing some tomatoes up the sides of that archway would be nice. I tried that last year, but I had one of those, where's a good example? Like the mint container. Actually, it's still out there. And of course, the tomato that was in it flooded because there's no drainage in that, and I wasn't going to drill holes through it. But now that I've got those fabric planters, I'm thinking if I put a 5-gallon one of those on either side of the archway, the entrance to the good life as it were, then I might be onto something there because it should grow better. It won't flood. You know, like I'm thinking maybe I'll get some tomatoes out of that. That would be nice. You'll notice there are a few plants missing. Fuzzy is visiting us from his girlfriend's for a week or two, so he took some of his plants back upstairs so he can have some fresh air in his den. Slash, I don't know, music lab. What do kids call their rooms these days? When I was a kid, it was my room. Go to your room! Yeah, I wanted to go there anyway, so whatever. More ahi panics. Definitely thinking the ahi panics are gonna... Oh, of course, this one's got roots. I've already got an ahi panic in a coffee can, so of course the ahi panics have roots. Arr. I don't have a paper lantern in a coffee can yet. I don't think this water bottle would work, but it's a quick transplanting away from being able to have roots pretty much exposed and sticking out. Could probably even wiggle those roots through if I really wanted to push the issue. Look at these tomatoes though, eh? That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, maybe someone can let me know. I'm thinking any tomato that is a bush variety, I probably should not top. But I'm throwing that out there for some feedback. My thinking on that is if it's a bush variety, it's probably a determinate variety. And therefore it's going to want to put out all of its peppers. A little obsessed much, Mr. Bear? It's going to want to put out all of its tomatoes at once. And therefore I'm thinking I won't be able to clone it or any of those fun things that go along with topping your tomatoes, really. But this is one of the better boy hybrids we've got here. And it looks like we are beginning to have a sucker in that crotch. So, cool. That doesn't say bush on it. I'm thinking I might just top that one a little bit. I have a few varieties of this anyway. Wow, is it going to be one heck of a tomato garden this year? One heck of a tomato garden. Tomatoes, peppers, some squash. I got a few things going, but not really enough. I would love to hear some feedback from you guys. I'm like Rev that way. I love the comments. Just hit me up in the comments and go look and see, and you know, other people, and you know, I believe it even more than he does. I think the people that generally leave comments on my videos have much nicer looking gardens than I do. So some of you guys have just bloody amazing gardens. Anybody checked out Charles P yet? He's just starting to put all of his stuff out because he lives in Texas. Lucky man. So he has a garden season that starts way before mine. And wow, is that side yard going to look amazing when he's got all his irrigation plumbed in and he's got all his peppers and stuff in there. So if you haven't checked out Charles yet, go check out his channel. And let's see who else has got some amazing pepper starts this year. Well, Rev, you know, he's got some amazing pepper starts this year. Actually, yeah, just go down and check everybody who comments on this video. And a lot of them have channels. Most of them are pepperheads. There's a lot to be seen there. So that is definitely, that'll be time well spent. Take it on faith from Mr. Bear. Speaking of time well spent and taking things on faith, in theory, my tracking number says that the mead supplies, I'm going with 1118 champagne yeast. Might be 1117? 11D17? I don't know. But my champagne yeast should be here tomorrow. I got 10 packs of that for 20 bucks, so that's essentially $2 a pop. And then I've got a 1 gallon carboy with an airlock on top of it. I do have other airlocks, but I figured for 15 bucks, this one's ready to go. I might as well give it a try. And I can try the Mr. Beer thing with maybe some fruits or something, because it'll be a lot easier to clean than a standard glass carboy would be, I think. So I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys about assorted fruits or spices that you think might go well with a honeyed wine, or a honey wine, because it's not really honeyed, it's honey. That's where the sugars come from to make the alcohol, so it's a honey wine. Whatever. It's a whole interesting thing. I'm really excited to get going with it. I'm really pleased that so many of you showed an interest in me just posting it here on the main channel. And over the years, I think we're going to see some of these background walls fill up with wine racks, which would certainly look a lot better than that, wouldn't it? And, you know, on that note, I guess that's where I'm going to wrap it up today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, I really appreciate you keeping company with me on these little adventures in gardening and the day-by-day updates of what's sprouting, what's dying, and all of that fun stuff. I think tomorrow... Actually, I don't have a clue what we're going to do tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow and we'll find out together. Alright. Gratuitous ladybug shot. Work it, little ladybug. Work it good.